Hey guys, so this topic has been weighing heavily on my heart. So I'm going to go ahead and do a get ready with me real quick as we talk about what's going to happen with our beloved indie makeup community with these looming tariffs. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So as I just mentioned, I am talking about the new tariffs that have been placed between the USA and China, mainly because we are going back and forth in a tit for tat war. Now, I am not an economist, but I am a makeup lover and I do follow politics closely. I'm not going to make this video too political, but I am going to state some of my feelings. But I was thinking, I've just seen so many posts lately in the past 2 weeks about how this is going to affect some of our favorite brands' business, and I just can't help to wonder what is going to be the future for the indie makeup beauty community. So if you're new to this channel, welcome, and if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy, and I love makeup, so that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup, but just call me Ash or Ashley, and eyeshadow is my jam. It's literally like one of my most favorite things to talk about here on my channel. So if you're new, just go ahead and subscribe because we have a good old time here. So I'm going to go ahead, do a little get ready with me, and I'll kind of just talk about the products that I'm using or just mention them while I'm discussing the topic of the tariffs. And it just saddens me because some of the brands that we are so accustomed to purchasing from, we're not going to be able to purchase them because they're not going to be able to afford to ship to the United States. So it is what it is, but it sucks. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this makeup look. I'm on the way to work, but I do want to use the Shellwe palette. This is the Farasha palette. And I did record like a palette rotation with this, but I haven't really played with this on camera too much. And it's such a gorgeous color scheme. This is actually the mini palette version, so it retails for half of the price. I want to say it's about $25 and some change versus the $50. So everything's just kind of like a little bit more miniature. The big one has like the big round pans. And unfortunately, this is one of the brands that we will not be able to purchase from because of the tariff situation. And I just really adore this color story. It's really just sad, disheartening, all of the above. This brand for me, it kind of like filled in the gap, sort of. Not totally, but sort of for like Tammy Tenuka, because Tammy Tenuka is a brand from Russia. And they have similar aesthetics to me, but I think Tammy's eyeshadow quality is a little bit better than the Shellwe, but Shellwe has amazing eyeshadow quality. So Tammy's eyeshadow quality is almost like up there with Pat McGrath. Like the mattes, the shimmers, top tier. You know, so, but this is really nice too. I've never had any problems with any of their palettes. It's just all so freaking sad. So I'm on the way to work, so I am not going to do anything too crazy, you know, but I definitely wanted to go ahead and play. My eyebrows are filled in using the same things that I always use, which is the Goof Proof Pencil Shade 3.75 by Benefit Cosmetics. And then I did take my eyeshadow primer, which is going to be the MAC Paint Pot in Contemplative State. It is an exact match for my skin complexion. And we're just going to go ahead and talk about some things. So this has just been on my mind, you know, pretty heavily in the past couple of weeks. Of course, you hear about everything that's been going on. And like, okay, first of all, I'm in the 92%, okay? Meaning, if you not know what the 92% is, that is 92% of the black women that voted for Kamala Harris to be the president. Clearly, we did not win. It sucks. Very disappointed because 1.0 of the presidency I felt was a disaster, okay? And I'm not going to really get on here. I don't want my channel to be too much of politics, but I do pay attention a lot to politics. And, you know, MSNBC has always been like my thing that I've always usually watching in the background. But after the election, I just had to kind of just disassociate, like literally, okay? Like just insert Find that little clip where they be like, where them fans at?
Right now, we have some big news right now. We have some terrible breaking news coming. We have some really big news tonight, and we have another terrible breaking news up. We have some scary news. We have some big news right now. Donald Trump has officially revoked. Right now, we have some big news right now. We have some.
It's like black people. Every time it's a breaking story, we just we line dancing, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm a person of color. I'm a woman of color. I'm a black woman, and I accidentally just did my brush properly. Oh, Jesus. Into the little shimmer shade that's right there. So I'm just going to take this little bit of makeup wipe. Get that out. Then take this little makeup towel. I need to dry that off. Thanks. Then I need to reapply some primer, because that's right there, center in the crease. Well, dang, where'd the spatula just go? Oh, Lordy. Okay, so the point is, you know, I'm a black woman. I mean, I literally just had the darn thing. Where did I do with it? Hey, I always blend it in. So, just gonna pick up a little bit more primer to like where I messed up at, so my shadow will stick right there. So my point is, like, hard times, you know, like, yes, I would say I grew up privileged. I'm not like super privileged. My parents just worked really hard, but I would say definitely that I probably had more opportunities than most. Okay. But still, like, we've had hard times before, you know what I mean? And we come out okay, and you rough it. And I feel like the African American experience is hard times. Like, we face hard times, we get through hard times, we come through them with resilience, and that's just our thing. So we knew things were going to be crazy, you know, when he took over, like the writing's on the wall. I mean, honestly, I'm 40, almost 41. So never in my lifetime has the economy been booming underneath a Republican presidency. People say what they want. It is what it is. If you look at the facts, I was alive. Bush won. Desert Storm, all of that. Clinton, robust. Okay, we have a surplus. Then, you know, Bush Jr., W had to come in, all of that stuff. Finished the war. I graduated during the housing crisis of 2008. So literally, as a pharmacist, my job opportunities literally went from 9 to 1 to like probably 3 to 1. But luckily, I had been with my company for a long time, so I didn't have to worry, and I was just able to transition over, because I think they did like lay off a few people. Anywho, so, and then, okay, COVID, all of that stuff. So the economy was right. Was the economy perfect under Biden? Absolutely not. Was it going in the right direction? Yes. Were things expensive because of inflation? Absolutely yes. Supply chain, everything. Like, it even affects how I work as a pharmacist, because a lot of things come from China. So as I was just sitting here thinking, as it relates to our beauty community, I was like, this is just going to be terrible, because this was the first brand, Shellwe, that announced, like, hey, we will not be shipping to the United States. Just like, well, that's lovely. It's not lovely, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's disappointing. I definitely get why they are doing that, because from a business standpoint, you just can't do it. You can't absorb those type of costs. You can't expect your consumer to pay all that type of money. And it's just really frustrating. And then the second brand that announced, unfortunately, will be Creme Cosmetics. Now, Creme Cosmetics, I have done several videos on my channel. I recently just released, did their Secret Garden. And in like 2 days, I'm filming this April 16th, but on April 18th, they said they will no longer be shipping to the United States. So I did make a couple posts on my Instagram and YouTube community tab. But this is the Secret Garden 1. Really gorgeous. Really gorgeous. And then we also have the Secret Garden 2. Excellent, excellent quality. The matte's matte. There are a couple that are like, but it's like, did I stick my finger in it? No, okay. they will not be shipping. And I have developed a little relationship with the owner of Creme, and I was just kind of asking her, and I don't know if I was supposed to say this, but she didn't mind telling me. But basically, like, things, just to kind of put it in perspective, if a package is under $800, the tariff is like $75 per package, or it could be like 90% of the value of that package. That is a lot of money for a brand to absorb. Like, it's just no way in the world. Like, a brand can be like, yes, let me absorb $75. I mean, like, Creme has always been very affordable when it comes to shipping. I believe Shellwe too. Like, Creme, I know, has usually been zero shipping, especially like on launch days. As long as you order within like a certain time frame, which is like wonderful because they're based in China. Same with Shellwe. So I was asking, I was trying to figure out, like, are you still going to be able to even provide your palettes like on the C Beauty Mall or Look Healthy store? And those particular, they're like, sites that sell multiple C Beauty brands. And when I say C Beauty, guys, I'm talking about beauty brands that are based in China. Now, this is not just going to affect the beauty brands that are based in China. This is going to affect brands that are right here in the United States that we love so much. And it's particularly going to affect a lot of our beloved indie brands. And the reason why I kind of switched over to indie brands versus, our standard prestige brands that we find in Sephora or at Ulta, and some of these, cosmetic counters in, our bigger department stores, is just simply like the color stories, the innovation, the textures, the formulas, the multi-chromes. I like impactful shadows, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to go ahead and take a little NYX glitter glue. So I like impactful shadows, and those stories at like the Sephora and everything else, except for a few brands, they just were not calling to me. And these brands, once I opened up and got into the world of these particular brands, and by far indie has come a long way since like they first came out. Like, the indie formulas, they used to just be kind of about the shimmers. Now they got the mattes together. So you got shimmers and mattes. You have innovative color stories. The price points can be expensive. Indie does not mean necessarily cheap, okay? But, there are a lot of just really fun, innovative ideas. And there's so many to choose from. So, your options are just kind of open. And I'm going to go ahead and take my Adept Cosmetics eyeshadow sponge. I've been loving this to apply my shimmers with. So if you're not a finger person, I highly recommend this. This is $7, okay? It's like the old school sponge, okay? Like the little applicator they used to put in the palette. But it's going to affect so many brands. These are small businesses, y'all. I say this all the time. So if you would look at a brand, let's take for instance, like Alien Cosmetics. They used to be Alien Cosmetics, now they're Unearthly Cosmetics. It's going to affect those brands. Their products are made in China. A lot of times when a lot of these indie brands start, they start off as pre-orders. And people could say they hate the pre-orders. I get it. I truly understand. Because a lot of times they don't have the working capital to put up, to front $45,000, all the things that it comes with to acquire the product. Even, Artist Couture, Mac Daddy, he said when he started, it was a pre-order because he could not afford to put up that much money to get the product. And you have to pay for these products as soon as they land in the United States. It's not like, oh, I'm going to pay for it. I'm trying to figure out what I want as the inner corner, but I don't know if I want any. Okay, I'm gonna do a matte in the corner with the blue. So, they can't afford to put this money up. The products have to be paid for. when they land. You know, it's the same thing. You got to pay for the product when you leave the store, okay? You know, it's not like, oh, I'll hit you back when I feel like it, or I owe you, all that stuff. It's the same type of, do I want this? Okay, we're going to leave it. We're going to see. But it's the same principle, okay? So a lot of businesses, they don't know how they're going to be able to survive. So a lot of brands are saying like, well, okay, yes, we can find an American factory, sure. But if I'm a smaller brand, 9 times out of 10, finding a smaller factory is just not going to be feasible because they are not putting out the units that a larger brand will put out, and also the quality. So, you know, a lot of times we have really come to expect a certain quality, and we want a certain quality with our makeup. Nobody wants crappy makeup. It is 2025, honey. I don't want no crappy makeup, okay? Because even the cheapest makeup is good pretty much at this point, okay? So they're saying, well, we could do the American way, but of course it's going to cost a lot more. They cannot do the smaller quantity batches, and if they do the smaller quantity batches, they're going to get hit over the head with the price, and the quality is not as good, and they don't want to sacrifice. So then I saw another brand, Fantasy Cosmetics. Now, I have not personally bought from Fantasy Cosmetics. I do like their palettes. You know, like money only goes so far, so some brands I have to choose over the other. But I do have a couple of palettes from Fantasy Cosmetics. And I have the Fighter and I have the Druid palette. And I was able to choose these two. I got these from the Creators and Friends when I went to in Palm Springs. So small indie brand, nice packaging, beautiful color stories, nice high quality. I did film a video with this. Don't ask me what happened to that footage. It went bye-bye. I was like, well darn, that's crazy, okay? But we have some beautiful color stories, and literally they said that they hope they are not going to go out of business. This is real, y'all. We are talking about people's livelihoods. We are talking about people who are employing people, small businesses. Like my brother is in business with his friend who's an artist. They're like, it's going to impact their bottom line as well. And as soon as I finish applying this eyeshadow, I'm going to tell you exactly what they said. So the Instagram post was super sad, and it just makes my heart bleed, because if you have started a business, you know how much blood, sweat, and tears it goes into it. You know what it took to get you there, the capital, you're hiring employees, the sleepless nights, you're up trying to make it work for your family. You know what I mean? So this is their comment on Tariff announcement. This was on their Instagram about 2 days ago. Hi, everyone. We have all seen the news about the new tariffs by the current U.S. administration. After a lot of consideration and a lot of math, we want to give you a quick update on how that will affect us. We would love to manufacture our palette products in the USA. However, we haven't found a manufacturer who can work with our small order sizes and meet our high quality needs. Chinese manufacturers were our best option. Now we are facing a sudden 145+% tax and growing on everything we get from them, including products we started production on months ago. We cannot understate how devastating this is to long-term planning for a small business like ours. How will this affect you? All of our current product prices will not change. Fortunately, the products for our next launch arrive just days before the initial tariff, so you will see no cost increase on our next launch coming soon. Yay! At least on that. Beyond that, our current plan is to finish our products that are in production the next 3 palette releases. If tariffs are raised again, we will more than likely drop the launches and lose all of our production costs, about $45,000. Do you know how much $45,000 is? That is a lot of money, okay? After that, we're uncertain how long we can remain in business. It is honestly devastating to me. I love this business and I don't want it to end like this, but long term either, we will have to price things $15 to $30 higher, or we'll be making much less than minimum wage for the amount of work we put in for our products. What if the tariffs go away in the next 6 months? We promise to do our best to keep our prices low and reasonable. This has been 20% inflation since we first started in 2021, but we have never increased our prices. We don't want to. Our newest 9-pan Monk palette is the same $38.99 that our very first Druid palette was 4 years ago. If the tariffs get dropped, we will try to have our prices reflect what the cost to get the makeup to you. Because of ripples in chain supply economics, price hikes drops to always take time to emerge. A tariff today affects our prices 3 months from now. Thank you for all your support to small businesses, Jordan. That is absolutely, literally just heartbreaking. Like, to hear that, for that business to experience that. I mean, it's so sad. And people have literally just put their blood, sweat, and tears. When you think about America, like, yes, big businesses, all of that, but America is literally built on small businesses. There are so many small businesses, whether you think about it, big, medium-sized to just small, to your mom and pop stores around the corner. And you just have to kind of think about it. It's going to affect everything. You know, not even just the price of food, the goods we buy, all of those things, the clothing, they're going to cost. So everything is going to cost more. Like everything in our regular life. So what's one thing that people can go without? You can go without makeup. And like I always say, 9 times out of 10, if you're watching this channel, you probably have a lot of makeup. So we will be okay. But our partners, the beauty brands that we love, that we've come to love, they will not be okay. And it's just so sad. Literally, Trump is killing small businesses. And I pray that it goes away. And it's not just so much of a whole, yeah, he wasn't going to do this anyway. But literally, you're tanking the economy. You're going to cause a recession. You are playing with people's livelihoods. You're putting their backs up against the wall. You are stunting their growth as a brand. When I see some of the brands and how they have grown, I know they've only been able to grow because of proper planning, putting money, reinvesting into their business, being able to support their family, like Unearthly Cosmetics. That's a great example. Like how I told you, it used to just be all pre-orders. But now when you buy a lot of the products, you don't have to pre-order. You can just literally go on, click, and get it to. And that's because why? She has the capital to purchase the products now. I'm just going to go in with my Fenty Hydrating primer. And all of this will just be literally effective. Because at the end of the day, we don't need makeup. Our essentials are going to come first. Things like that. Restaurants are going to be affected. Because small mom and pops, think about it, like, you know, it's Chicago. Like, you know, there's big restaurants and there's a lot of small restaurants that I eat at. Because, first of all, food is bomb here, okay? Down to the finest dining, down to the little hole in the wall, okay? This is the Milk Makeup Hydrogrip gel tint. I like this. I almost forgot I had it just that quick. I had kind of gone back to my Face Bond foundation, which I do love so much, but I do really like this, actually. I got this with the sale. Look at my Face Bond. Ooh, and this is my first shade, like, because I ended up having to buy a second shade for the summer. I'm going to take this nice old dirty brush and blend this in. But so makeup is not going to be a priority. And then at the second thing we have to think about is, okay, so the price is going up, right? So when I think about Adept Cosmetics, some of those palettes already cost $60 range, $70 range. We don't flinch about it right now because, okay, that's always kind of been their price point. They've always been a little bit higher, but it's always still been a good value for your money because you get lots of multi and holochromes, and those pigments cost more to make. And if you were to order, you know, 5 or 6 shadows from like Terra Moons and get some singles, that would literally cost you about $90 for 6 shadows. But I can get 15 or 21, you know, for less. So everything is just going to be affected. And I just really worry, and I hope that these brands could survive because it's hard. He's literally going to kill businesses, and it's super sad to see this. And it's just not the American way. Like, we're fighting for what? You know, maybe some things need to be changed. I'm not an economist, but Danessa Myricks number 11 concealer. But a trade deficit in certain areas is not bad. And I mean, honestly, like, I don't kind of blame China going for tit for tat, okay? Like, you know, we're always trying to play the big bad bully and stuff like that. And who wants to go and make these jobs? We don't want these jobs, okay? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, who said we wanted to make iPhones? Who said that we wanted to make Nikes? Okay? We don't want to make Nikes. If we wanted to make Nikes, we could have made Nikes a long time ago. We're not crying over these jobs. You know, certain industries don't exist because, you know, times have moved on. You have more clean energy. You figure out how to do better things. Now, I think the car manufacturing, I think some of that should definitely stay here. But everything is just going to be more expensive. All these tariffs. And like Canada, we get so much power and energy and lumber. I mean, even in the pandemic, my cousins and I, we wanted to buy this really large mansion, and it was like 1,800 square feet almost on each floor of the mansion. And we wanted to build it out in every person. I was going to take a floor. My cousin was going to take another floor, the second floor with her daughter. And then my third cousin, her and her husband were going to take a floor, and they were going to duplex down into the basement because they had 2 children. And the wood budget alone, the wood, because it was an old mansion and you just needed all the things, Pat McGrath, under eye powder, baby pink. The wood budget alone back then, because of the supply chain and everything, was $100,000 for the wood. And that was the contractor just charging us for materials and labor, not upcharging the materials because he was a friend. So I don't understand. I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Camo bronzer, medium intense. I love this stuff. I think I'm almost out. I just kind of bought this end of the year. But yeah, when I colored my hair. I'm like digging it off the sides. Look at me using up stuff. But I just know that makeup is going to be, you know, not a normal necessity. Things that, you know, we thought we need, we don't have to buy, and we always going to cut off like those bottom lines. And yes, it might be 1 or 2 times like you treat yourself, but it's going to be hard to justify these prices. We understand that things are going to cost more because of the tariffs, but I just don't see how. I just don't want it to affect the brands so much because everything, all the shadows, majority of the shadows, not everything in the makeup community, but with the indie makeup community especially, are made in China. Adept Cosmetics, I want to say Blend Bunny, some favorite brands. So it's just really hard and unfortunate. And so I'm just sending love to all my beauty brands, and just let me know how this is going to affect. And I hope we just don't see like brands disappearing overnight. But what can they do? I mean, honestly, it's so terrible. And the only good thing I can see about this is that we're going to be forced to use our collections. All right, so this is the final look. I just paired a little bit of, like I said, that Outer Space lip eyeliner, put on a little mascara, and then I went in with my Blend Bunny Dollface Liquid Matte Cream, paired it with my Venom Urban Decay lip liner for the finished look. And I did add a little bit of my one size. This right here? Honey, Patrick, you did that because the face don't be going nowhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up. So, like I said, it's just really sad and it's unfortunate. I didn't want to make the video too political, but this is something that's just been weighing on my heart because this is like a community that I love so much. So hopefully it can just turn around for the better. Like I said, the only upside will be definitely forced to be using our collection, and then, you know, maybe some of the old format of YouTube will come back where you are seeing the palette more than once, which I would love, by the way, okay? I would love. But with all of that being said, just let me know how you feel down below. What are your thoughts? What are your views? Like, yeah, just leaving the comments open. We're going to keep it respectful down in the comments because this is my house. So you're going to respect my rules and you're going to respect my company that comes to my house, i.e. this channel. So with all of that being said, leave me a comment, give this video a big old thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, wish me soon, and subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And we're going to end this with a chair dance. Chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Chair dance. All right, y'all. Bye.